Well, I got some stuff to do today, and one of them is this burn test. This is that new wax, the cocoa and apricot cream. It's really rich, and I'm mixing it 50-50 with the soy cocoa. And I just want to test the finish and the burn and all that stuff. I couldn't use just the apricot cream and coconut because with the Arizona weather, it's way too soft and the melting point is way too low. I think come summertime, it's going to give me a really hard time, and I want to be consistent. All right, we got these guys all trimmed up. I've got the 0.5, the 0.35 wooden wicks, and then the Eco, I'm pretty sure it's a number 8. And it's the same wick on both the end ones, on both the Eco ones, but one is just trimmed shorter than the other. I just want to see how they burn because, like I said, this is a new wax to me, and I want to make sure that I get the best performance out of it. And there's only one way to know, and that's by testing it. So let's get burning. We'll let this burn for 2 hours. I'll probably check back in an hour, but we'll let it burn for 2 hours and see what kind of melt pools we have and see how the flames are acting and test this out to see if we can get the best performance out of these wicks and this wax, along with a really good scent throw, and get the best performance we can out of these candles. All right, well, we're about an hour in, and this first one, the 0.5, it's out of control. I can hear it crackling. I can smell the wax, and no scent throw coming off. I could literally smell the wax on this one. But we're gonna let it burn just to see how it reacts. Let it go as far as it can go safely, and see how it is. The 0.35 is hanging in there pretty good. I kind of like the way the pool is setting up. It's only an hour in. It's got a nice little ring around the outside, and that should fall in to the melt pool pretty quickly as it keeps going. And the Eco Wick 8, this is the one that I trimmed really low. It's got a pretty good pool going. I think within the next hour, it might collapse into the full melt pool, and hopefully we'll see if it goes side to side. This one I trimmed at above a 1/4 inch, and it's got a pretty good melt pool going, and I think this one's probably going to burn pretty quick though. It's the same size wick, just trimmed higher. So we'll see how they do in the next, I don't know, another hour or so. Then we'll blow them out, let them cool, and fire them back up. All right, so we're at the 2 hour mark, and the 0.5 wick is still out of control, like I knew it would be. The 0.35 is not doing bad. I kind of like the way that pool is setting up. The Eco Wick number 8 is about the same. It hasn't come to a full melt pool yet, and the end one with the higher trim is got a full melt pool still. So they're all still doing about the same. We'll check back in about an hour. And yes, I agree, the end wick is way too tall and it's mushrooming. All right, so we are at the 2 hour mark. This one is out of control, melted almost fully, and the flame is out of control. This one I can live with. The melt pool on this one is about a 1/4 inch. It's from edge to edge, and the candle has a nice flicker. It's not too out of control. This one is not quite to the edge, and this is the one that I trimmed under a 1/4 inch, and I think this one is probably a little bit light for me at the 2 hour mark. This one, I trimmed it above what the wick trimmer is, probably almost a 1/2 inch, a little bit above a 1/4, and the melt pool is edge to edge. The flame is a little bit high for me and a little bit out of control, so we're going to go ahead and blow these out. I'll let them cool completely, and then we'll relight them for another 2 hours. All right, I am on my way to the UPS store and ship out these samples that I promised so I can get some reviews as quick as possible and some feedback and collect some data and The candles are cooling off right now. We're gonna let them cool off for a good 2 hours. I'll trim them and I'll relight them, and then we'll check the melt pool. I can't talk. Need more coffee. We'll check the melt pool. We'll relight them and burn them for 2 more hours, and then we'll check the melt pool and see how they look. The testing's going really well, and I can't wait to get the next set of samples out and start getting reviews on those. So I have 5 solid fragrances down. When I get all the reviews back, collect all the data, then I can finalize the recipe for each one, and I can get those into production, and then I'll launch my official page. So right now it's just a landing page for me to collect emails and people that I can get my newsletter out to. Also get some samples too, so get reviews. So I'm pretty excited. So off to the UPS store right now. These packages are coming to you. I read the list yesterday, and yes, Leanne, you're on there. I don't know how I missed you. I didn't write you down because it's automatic. And also, I'm down a few pounds. I am trying to lose weight. Sorry, I got a phone call there. So I'm down a couple pounds, like 5 pounds, and it's only been a little over a week, I want to say, and it's because of Leanne. She gave me a little something. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not selling it. I'm not making anything off it, but I will encourage you, get a hold of Leanne Langolf. She's on my friends list. She's comments on all my stuff. You can find her if you look for her. If you can't, just message me. I'll give you her info. But the stuff works. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. I've tried everything. And like I said, I'm not pushing it. I'm not selling it. I'm just really impressed. I'll put it that way. And I can't wait to lose a bunch of weight. I got 30 pounds to go. So anyways, I'm here at the UPS store. I'm pulling in right now. I'm gonna get these mailed off. And when I get home, we'll check the candles and trim the wicks up and relight them for another couple hours and see what happens. Talk to you soon. Bye. Well, the UPS store was a bust. Man, they want like 20 bucks a package. It's ridiculous because I need 4x4 boxes, which I can get through USPS, but all they have is 4x6. So it's gonna be like 19 bucks a box. So I'm headed over to the postal annex and get a better deal and get these things shipped. So let's just take a drive through the neighborhood. So far I'm really enjoying this adventure. This is the kind of stuff I like, you know. I wish I would have taken people's advice a long time ago. You know, the old saying, if you are doing your passion, then you'll never work a day in your life, you know, and it's true. I can totally relate to that. And people have always told me I should sell my paintings, you know, I should have been selling candles. And man, if I would have done it a long time ago, I've been at my job 21 years now. I've been in a career, and everyone's, you know, you're always trying to get out of the 9 to 5. And I've tried everything except for following my passions. And, you know, had I done that, I'd probably be a little further ahead now. I think I'd definitely be out of my 9 to 5 job, you know, and even if I wasn't making as much money, it's the quality of life, the happiness, you know, and I'm realizing that as I get older. I've realized I've been wasting so much time chasing the wrong thing, and my happiness has been in front of me the whole time, you know, and had I just seen it, I could have taken advantage of it. And I just, I guess I wasn't so thick-headed. I would have taken other people's advice instead of always thinking that I'm right, you know. And man, life is a lot easier when you don't think that you have to make all the decisions and have to be right all the time. You know, sometimes people around you know a little bit better than you, and all you got to do is listen and take some advice once in a while. So if there's one thing I've learned over the years is to sometimes just shut my mouth and listen, you know, And sometimes maybe it's just for entertainment value, but I don't have to be yapping all the time. And I spent a lot of my life yapping. And speaking of yapping, let's get to the postal annex, get these shipped out, get back to the house, and check on our candles. Ooh, off to the right, there's Mr. Policeman, making sure everybody's coming to a complete stop. No, 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 we don't do California stops around here. Complete stop. All right, let's go. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Pardon me, excuse me, coming through. Oh, no, coming through. Gonna zip right into this spot right here. Zip, zippity doo dah, right in here. And we're here. Well, that was a lot better. About between $12 and $14 a box. That's not bad at all. So we got those shipped out, and everybody should be getting their stuff. They said right around Monday, Tuesday. Looking forward to getting some reviews and some responses. And now I'm headed home. We'll go check on our candles, trim up those wicks, fire them back up for another 2 hours, and do some more testing. All right, it's time to check in on these candles. So they're nice and cooled off. They're firm. It's been 2 hours. So our last checkup was at 9:10. It's now 11:11. And we're gonna go ahead and trim these wicks, and we'll light them back up for another 2 hours and see what happens. All right, the wicks are all trimmed. Let's get these lit back up. It's 11:35. We'll let them go for a couple hours. So I go have to do the old-fashioned way. All right, so it's been an hour since we relit these. This thing is just burning away. I knew that wick was gonna be way too big, but you know what? I had to give it a shot. This wax is new to me, so I've got to test it out thoroughly. This one's actually okay. This is the 3.5 wick, and wooden wick, and it's not bad. As soon as I think the sides are just gonna stick and it's might tunnel or something, they start falling into the pool. So it's kind of a nice slow burn and a nice pool. So I'm liking the wooden wick. Not bad at all. This one is the Eco wick. I think it's an 8, and it's just burning way too cool. It is leaving wax on the sides, and it's not melting it into the pool. I mean, we're only an hour after the relight, so I'll come back in an hour and check on it. And this one's performing really well, and it's the same wick. I just didn't trim it as short, and it's performing pretty well. But my favorite so far is the 3.5 wooden wick. This thing is doing really well. I think I might go with these. Anyways, we'll check back in an hour. So it's been an hour, and this thing is just burning away. I'm just gonna let it go. I can almost see the bottom now, the wick holder. But yeah, I knew this wick was gonna be way too big, but I had to try it. You know, it's new wax to me, and I had to give it a shot and just see what it would do. I want to check all aspects of the performance. This one here is the 3.5. This is the 0.5. 3.5. All right, in total, we're 7 hours in, and this thing is completely melted and probably about an inch deep. completely out of control. And we're just gonna put that one out now so it doesn't catch on fire. It's got soot, out of control flame, and an endless melt pool. So we'll just put that one out. This one I'm still really happy with. It's still got about a 1/4 inch melt pool. The flame is perfect. It's burning nicely and no soot. Really nice. I'm happy with this. And I knew this one was gonna be completely out of control. It's just a 0.5 wick is way too big for this small diameter of a vessel. But this one, really happy with. And I think it's gonna do even better in a glass vessel. So I think we're gonna take a really good look at that one. This is the Eco Wick number 8. And it's the one that I cut really short, and it never recovered from that melt pool. It left a memory ring like they do, and it hasn't recovered. So it smells really good over here, though, I'll tell you that much. So that one is definitely probably out. This is the same thing, Eco 8, and I cut it a little longer, but I don't like the fact that it's got a mushrooming wick, a little bit of soot coming off it, not much, but it's got a great melt pool. It's collecting on the sides and falling into itself. So I think if I went with number 10 and trimmed it regular, it would probably be a good pair. So between this one and the wooden wick 0.35, I'm gonna get one of those dialed in. So we're gonna let these burn for the rest of the day or until they're burned out. We'll check back in about 2 hours and see where we're at. All right, we are 8 hours in, and this one definitely made it out of the running. And that's just basically a high wick. So we're gonna kick that one to the curb. So between these two, man, it's kind of a toss-up. The only reason that I'm leaning towards the Eco Wick is because I'm getting a longer burn out of the candle. Same pool on both. This one's a little bit cleaner with the Eco Wick. This one's got a little residue on the side. But that's the wooden and the Eco 8, I believe. So this is a 2.5 inch diameter vessel. And so far, the Eco Wick, I think, has it. So we're gonna let it burn for another 2 hours and see where we're at. Well, we're at 9 hours of burn time. And I think I'm gonna call this one. I can see the clip, the metal clip for the wooden wick down below, which means my melt pool is right at about close to a 1/2 inch. About close to 1/2 inch, I think, what it looks like. This one is just much cleaner all the way around. I still have some wax left covering the base of the wick clip, which isn't tall as the metal one, but I can see the bottom of the metal one. You can see the whole bottom. It's turning transparent down there. This one still has a lot of wax left to go, so I think we're gonna look at going with the Eco Wick, and I think I'm gonna stay with the 8. It ended up with a really clean finish. I'm real happy with it, and I can just tell by the melt pool that that's gonna be a pretty good scent throw because it's a perfect 1/4 inch. It's been pretty consistent. It started off a little slow, but I think that's the nature of the beast on this one. You get a little on the sides and then it kind of caves into the heat and adds to that melt pool, because they all start off strong, right? So that's fine. It starts off strong and then the rest of it kicks in, which I kind of like. I kind of like that aspect of it. So I think we're gonna go with the Eco 8. Thanks for hanging out, and we're gonna call that one a wrap.